Are we live, YouTube? Hello? Are we live? It does appear that we are live, so that is good. All right, so whoo boy, ladies and gentlemen, this is a national emergency. J.K. Dobbins is out for the season. Mr. Reliable in the backfield himself, J.K. Dobbins is done for the year. Yes, this is a national emergency. I don't know, the following message is transmitted at the request of the U.S. government because, my God, the Denver Broncos offense has been anemic this year, but J.K. Dobbins being out is going to be a whole different problem for these Denver Broncos. J.K. Dobbins has been by far their best runner this year, and we're just going to kind of hammer on some of the stats a little bit before we really get into the impact, but he's got 772 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's been good for him in the receiving game. And JK was on pace for a 1,000-yard season up until this injury ended up hurting his foot, got rolled on weird. So JK Dobbins, yes, he will be going under the knife, and that will end his season. Good Lord, this is the worst possible news the Denver Broncos could have gotten on a Saturday, right before we play Kansas City. This is the worst possible news that you could have asked for. In a Broncos offense that has been inconsistent. Let me bump my chair up a little bit. There we go. Now I'm a little more in shot. My hair's certainly not cooperating with me, and I left my Broncos hat in the car. Anywho, in a season where the Broncos offense has already been so inconsistent, J.K. Dobbins has been that one shred of consistency that the Denver Broncos have had on offense. He's been averaging 5 yards a carry all season. He's got some really, really good games under his belt here. A couple of 100-yard games. One, the end of September against Cincinnati, he goes for 101, and then he goes for 111 against Dallas. He went for 77 against the Raiders. The Denver Broncos are going to really, really, really miss his production. And, we knew that this was the risk with signing J.K. Dobbins. He was coming off of an injury with the Chargers. That was pretty significant. And so now with him going down again, I think it puts J.K. Dobbins' future with the Broncos in jeopardy, unfortunately. With how good he's been this year. He was kind of on like a 1-year prove-it deal in training camp. Made the roster, came in as the starter, and you know what? He shined as the Denver Broncos starting bell cow back up to this point. But with all that being said, the Broncos are going to have a contingency in place. That is going to thrust R.J. Harvey into the Denver Broncos starting lineup. It's kind of a spot that, he's been in and out of the backfield all year. He's been more of a receiver than he has anything else. Lot more, I wouldn't say a lot more, probably about 6s in terms of production with rushing and receiving for him. He has a couple of good games. We've seen some explosive runs out of RJ Harvey, but we haven't seen him consistently handle the ball. The Broncos like to use RJ Harvey with a lot of outside stuff. RJ Harvey is going to have to quickly become a between the tackles runner for the Denver Broncos to have success going forward. But, we look at some of these game logs. He's only had 7+ carries twice this year. He had 14 against Cincinnati, and then he had 7 against Dallas a couple of weeks ago when the Broncos were kind of just trying to put the Cowboys away in garbage time. And now Harvey is going to be the leading back. That likely gives Jaleel McLaughlin a little bit of an elevated role here in the Broncos offense. Guy that came in, was kind of a spark plug for him at times these last couple of years. He can kind of do whatever, although it was getting to a point where it felt like the Broncos were keying what they were doing depending on the back that was in the game. Because Tyler Badie was coming in for pass blocking snaps. That's going to have to change, and everything for this Broncos offense is going to have to change going forward. At this moment, I mean, hell, like, I don't have another host on here. We're just kind of here. But man, it is not gonna look good for a little bit. I don't know. Like, the only real positive spin that I can put on something like this is that potentially now RJ Harvey gets that chance to really start developing into the second round running back that the that the Broncos drafted. It's going to be really interesting, though. He's got 214 yards on the year. He's averaging 4.3 a pop, 175 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns on the season with his hands. It's going to be the RJ Harvey show from here on out, and if my laptop will stop trying to fry on me here, it's going to be weird. It is going to put Mr. Harvey on a higher pedestal now, and he's going to have to step up and perform, and it's going to have to expedite his development one way or the other. The Denver Broncos offense, it's I think this puts more on Bo, at least for the short term. There's going to be a little more adversity on Bo Nix to succeed, whereas now where you're trying to bring along a rookie running back at an expedited rate here. Hang on, I'm gonna record this bit, so I'm gonna try and upload this as a short. I need to start uploading shorts. So let me get myself a little more camera friendly, if you will. All right. The injury to J.K. Dobbins is going to put so much more emphasis now on Bo Nix to do the things that, the Broncos have been asking him to do, but that he hasn't really been able to do successfully. J.K. Dobbins, you could just turn around, hand it off to him, and pretty much expect 4 yards. R.J. Harvey has not really been a between-the-tackles runner this season. He's been more of a get outside, get him into space, and let him explode type of guy, and where he's going to have to navigate now this kind of learning curve, especially in a Sean Payton offense, and it's going to be a little less so on a running back, I imagine, but still, you have to make the adjustments at the NFL level, and considering he hasn't had any more than 14 carries this year, and he's only had 7 carries once in the past month, or really since that 14 carry game that he had against Cincinnati, it is going to be crucial for Bo Nix to get things moving. It's going to be crucial for RJ Harvey, obviously, to kind of expedite his development. And I think we're going to see more backs not named RJ Harvey get a better share of the carries as well. We're going to see Tyler Bidet start running. Obviously, we're going to see Jaleel McLaughlin. I definitely think we're going to see Jaleel McLaughlin coming up here in the future as well. It's just going to be really interesting. I think the Broncos signing of Lil Jordan Humphrey is going to help them. And plus, you get Marvin Mims back as well, so I think the screen game is going to be somewhat more available, and I think Sean's going to lean on that a little more to kind of get your pseudo running game, your short passing game going, whatever it may be. But the way it sits right now, I think having Lil Jordan Humphrey is going to really help RJ Harvey on the edge, because Lil Jordan Humphrey is that blocking type dude. But as it stands, for the Broncos to succeed, RJ Harvey's development is going to have to rocket up, and he is going to not necessarily excel between the tackles, but he's going to have to get himself up to speed between the tackles, or the Broncos' run game is going to die. Okay, I got that short recorded, and, I stand on those points as well. I completely stand on those points, because it's gonna be bad if RJ Harvey can't really get himself settled between the tackles. Because, like I said, he has been a sweep guy this season. He's been a pitch it out to him. And you know what? He's been good in those situations. I wonder if we can find some splits here. I'm going to dink around with Pro Football Reference for a minute. I've never just, dicked off with PFR. I'm going to see if I can go play by play. Let's see. RJ Harvey. I just want RJ Harvey. Just from this year, yards to go. Can I go pass rush, snap type, game situation, field position, down in yards to go? Game location? Okay, no. I just want his splits on, we need a, I'm trying to think of what we need a StatHead website, but for football. Or, we need a baseball savant, but for the NFL. Is there a football savant? I wonder. Is there a football savant? Because if there is, we are absolutely going to need this. NFL savant. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, I'm gonna close my door. I'm streaming real quick. No, you guys are good. I ain't tripping. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna see if I can find what I'm looking for here on NFL Savant. I'm actually really interested right now. Can I find rushing attempts? Yeah, yardage, passing. No, I need rushing attempts by down. No, rushing yardage by down. Can I just find can I find any of what I'm looking for here? Hang on a minute. Let me let me scroll around. I don't know if NFL Savant is going to have what I need, maybe. Can I find RJ Harvey here? Oh, why is it 2024 regular season? Does it only go up to 24? Okay, never mind. NFL Savant's useless for this. Basically, the whole gist of that though is that RJ Harvey has been a sweepback this year, and that's what I'm getting at here. So it makes me wonder what role now we're going to see from guys like Tyler Bidet or guys like Jaleel McLaughlin. Jaleel's been a healthy scratch pretty much all year, but the Broncos didn't do anything with him at the deadline. And I wonder if that was because they just wanted the contingency or the insurance for a potential J.K. Dobbins injury. And if that's the case, mission accomplished. Jaleel McLaughlin is going to start getting some live snaps now. And I don't know that the Broncos go after a free agent running back at all. But yeah, it's a short little emergency stream. I'm going to go get that short uploaded. And yeah, we will probably touch on this later. I might do a prediction episode later, so stay tuned for that. And with that being said, this has been Miles with Crushing It.